All right, let's dive right in. We're going to explore a really strange corner of the internet, a place where a super popular, kind of cute game about astronauts gets a seriously spooky fan-made makeover. We're going to break down how these digital ghost stories get started, why people argue about them, and how they end up becoming their own little universe.
You know, it all starts with something just like this, a moment of pure confusion. You've got players watching these Among Us videos and seeing things that, well, they just don't make any sense. Weird settings, actions that break the game's rules, characters that are not supposed to be there. And that gap, that space between the game you know and the game you're seeing on screen, that's where this whole thing begins.
And then, almost immediately, you get the other side of the story. For every person who's confused, there are 10 more who are just not buying it. They point the finger at one YouTuber in particular, a creator named Cherry, and they all say the same thing: clickbait. This right here sets up the big mystery we're looking at today. Is this a real digital haunting or just a really, really clever hoax?
So to really understand this debate, we have to step inside the world that these videos have built. Because this isn't the Among Us you download from the App Store. No, this is a version haunted by these mysterious, all-powerful creatures that have been brought to life through these videos.
The name for these kinds of stories is Creepypasta. And honestly, it's the perfect name. Just think of them as the internet's version of ghost stories you'd tell around a campfire. They take something familiar and safe, like your favorite video game, and they twist it, just enough to make it really, really unsettling.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. At the center of all this lore are two main villains, Dummy Zero and Dummy X. And they're designed to be total polar opposites, right? One's white, one's black. And each one has a terrifying power that is specifically designed to just shatter the rules and trust that the game is built on.
And just look at how these stories are told. It's written just like a found-footage horror movie. You get this panicked, first-person story describing these impossible things as they happen. He's saying Dummy Zero can just teleport out of nowhere and kill someone instantly. It creates this feeling that the game itself is possessed by a ghost you just can't beat.
And this is just brilliant from a storytelling perspective. Dummy X is, you could argue, even scarier. He doesn't just kill you, he steals your identity. He becomes a perfect clone. I mean, think about that. It turns a simple game of who's the bad guy into this psychological thriller. Who can you possibly trust when the monster can look exactly like your friend?
Okay, so let's flip the coin. Let's look at how the community pushes back and starts to systematically pick these videos apart, because for every spooky claim, there is a very logical, technical explanation waiting. The number one accusation, like we saw before, is clickbait. The skeptics aren't seeing ghosts in the machine. They're seeing a very carefully put-together production that's designed to get views by being as shocking and sensational as possible.
And the main theory isn't even that the game is hacked. It's that the whole thing is staged. This user lays it out perfectly. It's probably just the creator playing with his friends who are all in on it, dressing up and acting out the parts of these monsters for the camera.
So the community basically turns into digital detectives. They start pointing out all these specific technical details in the videos. They notice maps are missing from the menu. They argue the spooky effects are just bad Photoshop. They're positive the game is modded. And some even point to the fine print. Sometimes the video descriptions flat out admit, hey, this is all satire.
But this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. Because even with all this proof that it's probably fake, a big part of the community decides to just play along. They take these stories, real or not, and they start building something way, way bigger.
And what they're creating is something called fanon. It's a mashup of the words fan and canon. And it's basically when the fans all get together and agree to treat fan-made stories as if they're official. One creator might provide the spark, but the community works together to turn it into this huge fire, creating a shared universe from nothing.
Yeah, and you can see this cycle play out almost perfectly every time. Step 1, Cherry posts a video. Step 2, everybody argues about it. But then, Step 3, a dedicated group of fans starts writing everything down, cataloging every character and event on a wiki. And that act of writing it all down, that's what makes it feel real and permanent. That's how the Fanoverse is born.
If you want to see this whole cycle in action, you don't have to look any further than this character, Murthy. He started out as just another monster of the week in one of Chari's videos, but thanks to the fans, he has taken on a complete life of his own. I mean, just listen to this backstory from his fan-made wiki page. It's this incredibly detailed, almost tragic origin story. They connect him to other creepypasta characters like Patient Zero and give him this whole motivation for how he became a monster. This entire detailed story was made up by fans for other fans. It's amazing.
So, what does this all mean? Why would a community spend so much time and creative energy building up stories around something they probably know isn't even real?
Well, at its heart, it's about way more than just one guy making scary videos. It's about this fundamental human need to be part of the story, to help create a world. This whole thing, it's our modern campfire. And these are the new ghost stories we're telling each other, with everyone adding their own little terrifying piece to the puzzle.
So that leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending question. Where do you draw the line between a modern myth and just a viral hoax? In this world of creepypasta and fanon, a world that's built on both doubt and a willingness to believe, maybe that line doesn't really exist at all.